This is called what we refer to as AMDARB data. It's basically aircraft data. But what it was is a chart basically showing the lack of upper air obs from aircraft. People don't realize that every commercial aircraft that takes off and lands collects, data for us. And so what has happened is that we have actually, let me see if I can share it. There we go. You
There
guys
it
see
comes.
it
Yep.
now?
Yeah, we got it.
So what you're looking at here is, I made it a little bigger. This is the GFS model. And that red line is the drop in observations from aircraft going into the GFS model. You can see pre-COVID, which is earlier in the month, we were getting about 15 to 18,000 observations into the 12Z GFS. As of this morning's GFS, that is down to like 2,000. I mean, that is just a tremendous drop. And the best way I can explain this to people that have seen hurricane coverage, you may have seen me talk about how we often like to get the plane out in the system so that we can get better data for the models. Well, this is what these planes are doing. When we have that lack of upper air data, some of the accuracy and the guidance can drop by 20% or so. And it's just not the US, that's just US data. That doesn't include European data, Asian data. I mean, and that article you're referring to, Scotty, all those aircraft, I was amazed how much some of the European airlines added to this. It was crazy, the drop in upper air observation. So this is going to be a real task that we're going to have to watch and see how much this impacts severe weather. Day-to-day weather, it might not have an immediate impact on us, but I think for high impact events like severe weather outbreaks, tornadoes, flooding, this might have a pretty significant impact, because the difference between something being 20% more intense or less intense is pretty significant in the weather world.
Brad, do you think it would impact high-res models more, or models like the global forecast system?
It seems like it'd be more the global forecast, because the upper air data is really key for, big, long wave troughs and ridges. You're looking at long wave pattern. I think the CAMS models are going to do fine. Thank goodness we have the GOES 16 and 17 sounder data, and now we have the polar orbiting data. The only problem is you need clear skies for good sounding data from the polar orbiters. But that sounding data, back after 9/11, we saw a similar drop in this aircraft data, but we didn't have the satellite data that we have now. So I think the satellite data is actually offsetting some of the issues, but this is going to be a much longer period of time that we'll start missing this data. It's only been, about 2 weeks now. I think we start getting 3-4 weeks, and now the long wave pattern across the whole globe will be totally impacted by this lack of upper air data.